Sup YouTube, it's TCG here and welcome back to our TCG video on my channel. On this channel you get tons of Pokemon TCG content, so be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. We are slowly but steadily making our way to 80,000 subscribers, so I couldn't be any more stoked about it. So thank you all that, for all the people that have been subscribed ever since the early beginning, or if you just recently subscribed, you guys are definitely making an impact, so I'm very grateful. With that being said, today we're going to be talking about the Japanese City Leagues. They are very similar to our Western League Cups, and they are typically with 64 players. We're going to be taking a quick look at what Japan currently is playing with and what is successful over in Japan, so we can have a little bit of an understanding of the set like Stellar Crown and the Surging Sparks, which of the cards that are in these new sets will have an impact on our Western format. So if you guys are excited, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out in ridiculous ways you have no idea. And with that being said, we're going to be diving into some City League results, some Japanese City League. So they have started again. This actually happened this weekend, so all the way from the 7th of September, we're going to be taking a look at the results from Saturday as well as Sunday. So let's start off with the first one over in Gifu, and we're going to be taking a look here. Charizard Pidgeot actually won. We're going to be taking a look at some new archetypes as well, like for example the Surge or whatever it's called. We're going to be taking a look at that, and it's going to be super nice. So first of all, Charizard Pidgeot. Very interesting that they have chosen the Heroescape, to be honest, because Heroescape is something you don't always see in the Charizard list, but here they are, so that's interesting. What else can we see is that they have opted to go for the TM Evolution route, as we've come to learn and love, with Thor Radcliffe also piloting that at the World Championships, is that TM Evo really protects yourself against some very wacky situations where the opponent might even item lock. I could understand in the fact that where a Galvantula sometimes could come into play left and right, that having TM Evo as a backup is super nice. Charizard's still good in the format, and I think this is a nice list to get yourself going. With the help of Mist Energy, you also protect yourself from stuff like TM Devolution, which can sometimes make an impact in the format. So Heroescape, the ace pack card of choice, so nothing new. You can already start playing with a list like this yourself. Then we have Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt also hasn't seen too much of a crazy amount of new cards here. We see that they are still playing the Sandy Shocks for the Mimikyu, which you can of course recover with Night Stretcher, so Mimikyu shouldn't be causing any problem. But they are including the Briar supporter, so that means that one of your that means that the Ogre Pawn, if you knock out a one prizer, can take two prizers. For example, if the opponent has exactly two prize cards remaining, you can actually use Briar, and then you can take an additional prize card if you knock something out. That's how cool it actually is. So as you see here, during this turn, if your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out, you can take an additional prize card. So you can only use this card if your opponent has exactly two prize cards remaining. So you need to time it perfectly, but the cool thing is taking an additional prize card on the one prizer. That means that something like the Teal Mask Ogre Pawn can then easily knock out a weak HP Pokemon, in combination with Pokemon Catcher or Boss can then be defining to take yourself the game. Definitely with draw support in the deck like Radiant Greninja and Phazandipiti, I could see it having a huge impact for sure. Also, not to note is that Raging Bull will be a very high tier deck because of the upcoming format. Then we have this one. It is called the Cerulege, yeah. This is a new card that allows you to actually slap a ton of damage. 30 damage plus 20 more for each energy card in your discard pile. That's where it's at. Its second attack also slaps 280, but needs way too many different types of energy. So the deck is pretty much Cerulege EX with tons of energy. So in this situation, or actually in this deck list, we see Cerulege with Legacy Energy to turn that into a one prizer, because this is going to be a two prizer deck most of the time, and you're going to be using, of course, tons of energy. So 13 energies in here. There's also a new ace pack card that allows you to discard 5 cards from your deck, which can be a thing you can think about when making a deck like this. Only 13 energies is a little bit on the low side, but a lot of gusting with 2 copies of Boss, Counter Catcher does help out. And because you're playing Carmine and a lot of Earthen Vessel, I think that does make sense. You don't need all of them in the discard pile to start hitting for one-hit KOs, because as soon as you get like 10 energies in the discard pile, you're slapping a whopping, what was it again? 20 more for every energy card. So if you have like 10 energy cards in your discard pile, you're slapping 230 damage for just single energy. That's kind of funky. With all these special energies here in combination, you can even get to bigger numbers. So I'm very excited to be playing with Cerulege. It's going to be bringing me some vibes of Blacephalon because your main objective is clear. Get the one-shots by doing a lot of stuff. So that's cool. New deck coming into the format soon. Then we have a Dragapult Pidgeot line, and Dragapult Pidgeot is playing the Sparkling Crystal, as we know, and the Crispin also new from the upcoming Stellar Crown set. So with Crispin, you can accelerate an energy from the deck instantly to one of your Pokemon and get another different type of basic energy into your hand. Very cool if you didn't have an attachment of the turn yet. Very easy searchable through the means of Lumineon V, Forest Sealstone on a Rotom, or even Pidgeot EX with the Quick Search. Sparkling Crystal, high amount of Arven. I think this is one of the best decks going into the new format, so I am expecting a lot of Dragapult this time around. It's always a little bit lackluster with every set, but this time around I do believe that it's time for Dragapult to really shine. I'm only going to be checking out interesting deck list, and most of the time I'll be taking a look at the top 4. But for now, let's check out Palkia. Palkia with Dusknoir seems to be very good, and the reason for that is that Palkia now is going to be able to blow up some Dusknoirs. You can then Iono the opponent to a low hand size while slapping with a Palkia. If I take a look at this list right now, we don't actually see the new Stadium card, the Area 0 under depth. I think if you want to be playing Palkia, that's going to be one of the main things you can talk about. But a list like this is something you can already start playing with today because there's no new cards from Stellar Crown as well as the Surging Spark set. So Palkia is going to be returning to the format very soon, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, next tournament over in Kagawa, if I pronounce it correctly. Let's see. It was won by Control. Actually, Snorlax block with a high thick line of the Cornerstone Ogerpon EX. Also some Mimikyu thrown in there. This is actually a very scary archetype to deal with. Some Calamitous Wastelands in here, and we do see that Gravity Stone, new tool card that allows you to have an additional retreat cost. Actually, give the opponent an additional retreat cost. Could be super nice to wall off indeed. And there's a Hero Escape, Handheld Fan, only one hammer, which you can recover with stuff like Silene, but I'm very funky. It's just Snorlax block. Snorlax block still doing well. Upcoming formats. There is a very funky Chimpao list that got second place. Prime Catch Cologne, strong combo, Pheasantipity for an additional draw in the late game. Chimpao, Shivery Chill, this is just classic Chimpao, and also is playing the 1/1 line of Palkia VSTAR. Nothing new in this deck, by the way. There is a Miraidon that is playing the new zero area under depth Stadium card, allowing you to have a bench space up to 8 if you have a Terra Pokemon in play. The Terra Pokemon in this deck is actually going to be Mewtwo EX, which you can find through the means of Tandem Unit. This also means you have more room for support Pokemon. You can slap down Mew EX, Pheasantipity, get Lumineon for your Arven, actually, and this list is actually not even playing Arven, so that's the funky part. There's Secret Box, there's the Cassiopeia, which actually allows you, if it's the only card in hand, get 2 cards instantly in the hand. So this is actually going to be a way you can search out 2 generators, and with Secret Box and with a lot of Ultra Ball, that's definitely going to be the case. Super cool indeed, and with zero area under depth, you're going to be able to slap with Raikou for a huge amount of damage. So there's that. Palkia Noctowl. Yeah, this is one of my decks that I am looking forward to start playtesting with. We have the powerful Palkia VSTAR with the subspace well. At most, you could slap 260 with it if both benches were full, but now with 0 under depths, the Stadium card allows you to have 8 bench Pokemon. You're going to be able to do way more. You have your early game aggressor in the form of Iron Leaves, by the way, because you're going to be able to trumpet some energies onto your field through the means of the trumpets. You can then get some grass energies on board, and then if you have enough grass energies, you can go for Iron Leaves. Iron Leaves also super good against Roaring Moon, but more in particular, Charizard EX is going to be the way that this Iron Leaves can be used, and it can get recovered by the means of Night Stretcher. So we're playing a tree line of Noctowl. Noctowl, if you evolve into it, can get yourself 2 trainer cards instantly from the deck, and it only works if you have a Terra Pokemon in play, whether it's Terapagos or I think Terapagos is the only one in this deck, but it's going to be super cool because with the Fan Rotom, you can get your Hoots out, and I think this is going to have an impact in the format for sure. Okay, moving forward, we're going to be taking a look at some more decks. This time around, we're going all the way to Kagoshima, and this was won by Regidrago VSTAR. Look at this list. It's almost exactly like the 60 I would have played at the World Championships, but I didn't go for Regidrago, as you all know. I went for Lugia VSTAR instead. Paid off for me, and this actually is a list that you can already start playing with today, but it's not going anywhere. So if you don't want to be investing too much into new cards, this could still be an archetype doing really well. Gardevoir, also one of those archetypes, doesn't play any new cards, but is still as solid as ever before. TM Devo for the high amount of Charizard players out there. We see an Iron Thorns. The World Championships was won with Iron Thorns. The new card that it gets is Kofu, and Kofu allows you to put 2 cards from your hand on the bottom of the deck in any order, and then you can draw 4 cards. Instead of going for a high amount of Professor's Research, you actually have Kofu to build up on your hand time and time again. Definitely with a high amount of Pokegear, Arven, and the Kofu, you're going to be able to get all the cards you want. And even a Dangerous Laser to make sure you can get the 2 shots on specific decks out there, which is super cool indeed. Alright, moving forward, there was another Dragapult Pidgeot playing Mela and Crispin. I think it's a little bit overkill to play Mela and Crispin. Crispin is the only card I would be playing. Definitely in combination with Sparkling Crystal is the best way you can play. And also, Pokemon League Headquarters seems to be finding its way in more and more of these Dragapult lists. So basic Pokemon did an extra cardless energy to attack. Very interesting indeed. Alright, we're going to be moving forward to Nara. Okay, what do we see here? A Raging Bolt winning. It's almost the exact same list that was played before, so nothing new under the sun. There was a Dragapult Xatu line that did well with the Unfair Stamp A-Spec card, so Dragapult and Lance even. Lance was a little bit hyped up going into where Dragapult was released, but it flopped miserably. Then we see a Dragapult Pidgeot, which is the personal favorite list I will be playing. Definitely with a Briar and a Dusknoir line, because with Dusknoir you can make sure the opponent has exactly 2 prize cards and then swoop the field with Dragapult, with Phantom Dive, take an additional prize card and swoop away. It's going to be very cool indeed to start playing with stuff like this. Also a Gravity Stone in here. I don't know how good it actually is if you want to be trapping opponents with Counter Catcher and then Dragapulting. So it doesn't seem too bad in my opinion. Lugia VSTAR is still around and actually changes almost 0 cards. This is playing a tree line of Chinchino. The Iron Hands is in there. The Blood Moon is in there. Torton. Yeah, this is pretty much Lugia, not changing a single card almost. You can already start playing with this today. So Lugia still around in the format. And another cool card I want to be taking a look at here, actually a new archetype, is going to be Terapagos. Terapagos here with a Dusknoir line, with some Noctowls in here so you can get the combo going with Dusknoir. I think it's actually super cool because with Scoop Up Cyclone you can reuse Noctowls, which is nice. With the zero area under depth stadium card, you're going to be able to go wide on your board. There's even a Reversal Energy and a Luxray package in here, because you can get all of these cards flying out the deck quite easily through the means of a Noctowl, stitching it out together. So very cool to be seeing a list like this doing reasonably well over in City League over in Nara. Then Aichi was won by Baxcalibur and Chimpao. Let's go. And it's playing the Ice Cube. Ice Cube has actually an attack that states discard energy from this Pokemon. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't attack. And you're also a fire type, so in that sense, sometimes you can do a lot of funky stuff for sure. But yeah, in combination with Iono, I could see Ice Cube, but it's also a Terra Pokemon, meaning at one point, if the opponent is playing the Zero Area Under Depth Stadium card in this format, you can slap down the Ice Cube as your Terra Pokemon, and then you can go wide on your board, slapping down V-Barrels, Radiant Greninja, Phasantipity, Chimpao, all the stuff you want. So there is that. What else do we see is Charizard Pidgeot doing well. Nothing new. We've seen the Briar is going to be a vast improvement in the late game. There is Iron Thorns with a Gravity Stone as the new card. Okay, Dangerous Laser as the ace pack as well. Turbo Roaring Moon here. No new cards in here, so the format will not shake up at all. We soon see the Terapagos again playing very similar to that, something we've seen before with Scoop Up Cyclone. So that is a new include into the format, but not a lot will change, to be honest. There's only going to be a handful of new archetypes. Terapagos and Palkia will return to the format. We are going to Shiga, where it was one with Raging Bolt. So Raging Bolt also not changing any new cards, which is funky. Dialga was doing reasonably okay in this tournament. Very streamlined list with 4, 4, 4, 4, you know, all the 4-offs you want. Not going with the grade 3 ace pack, but instead going for Prime Catcher, which is probably better for the archetype. Raging Bolt now having more room for Pokemon on the bench with 0 area under depth. Also going to be allowing you to discard your own Squawk ability. If you slap down 0 area under depth, go wide on your field, and then the following turn slap down Pokestop, you're going to be able to discard your own Squawk ability, which is actually super nice against specific matchups. There's a Crispin also thrown on this list. Classic Guardy with Gravity Stone. Gravity Stone helping out to use Roaring Scream more sufficiently, and that's going to be very fantastic to trap opponents while using Iono or Unfair Stamp, trapping them and Scream Tailing them. They cannot attach and retreat because of the Gravity Stone. Or the Gravity Orb, whatever it's gonna be called over in the West. Next up, Fukushima with Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt doing tons and tons of work. There's a Slither Wing in here as a way you can deal with Iron Hands and stuff, because if there's a future Pokemon in play, no, it's not this one. This one actually states 120 damage, it's actually not bad. 120 damage, not only can you knock out stuff like, for example, Mimikyu, you can one-shot stuff like Miraidon as well as Iron Hands. A Briar in this list as well. Briar seeing in the Raging Bolt list more and more often. Then Lugia doing some Lugia stuff. There's the Raikou in here, so sometimes you see the Raikou in here, sometimes you don't. And I don't see basic lightning energies in this list, so I think this is a very funky list. Sometimes you can attack with Raikou very easily through the means of Legacy Star. Actually, Legacy Energy, but I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest. And then Pidgeot Zard with Jamming Tower Collapsed and all the stuff we've seen before. Briar in this list. So Briar has a mainstay in these 60s. Tokyo. It's been a while since I've been in Tokyo. What a wonderful place to be at. This is going to be a Lugia playing one of Klefki and the Wellspring Ogerpon. Wellspring Ogerpon is nice because if the opponent is playing 0 area under depth, you can also go wide on your own board. So I do think the Wellspring could be an inclusion in my current Lugia list, if I'm being honest, because it's going to be helping you out in all these Terra 0 area under depth decks. A classic Guardy going second. Dragapult Lost Box. This is a variant that personally I'm not a big fan of because it didn't perform well in the previous formats, and I don't think it's going to be performing all that well. All right, what else? We're going to go all the way to Shiba. Their Raging Bolt won again, so it's a very unique list with 0 area under depth, playing Rotom Fans and Noctowls. With the help of Noctowl, you can get yourself the Sod or the Prime Catcher, do all the powerful combos you want, or even get a Superior Energy Retrieval or a regular Retrieval if you get one more energies in play. So yeah, that's also going to be a way you can play. Raging Bolt is actually one, so Lost Zone Giratina with Cologne and Prime Catcher. Okay, Temple for the Lugia matchup, which is inherently very bad. And this is just classic Tina. There's all these old school decks reappearing in the format. This is Robska, and this is actually playing Robska without TM Evo. Robska without TM Evo is actually inherently super bad if you're not starting with a Buddy Puffin, but yeah, if you can get it off, I think it's alright. So with a high amount of Pokemon in here, with a 2-1-1 line of Dusknoir, 2-0-2 line of Pidgeot, and the Cologne in here, so very highly inspired by Tord, I suppose. Moving forward, we're going to go way up to Saitama, and this was one with Roaring Moon. This Roaring Moon list is playing energy stickers. That's also something I tried out with Roaring Moon. Playing Ancient Boosted Energy Capsules once again in this list, something that was inherently strong before the rotation, and now people have navigated towards a different place. But having energy stickers is nice inherently, but on the other hand, isn't it better to play a 1-1 line of Darkrai VSTAR to get back Dark Patches? Maybe that's better in my opinion. Or playing Water type energies at least, so you can maybe attack with Radiant Greninja. Dragapult with Radiant Alakazam, Sparkling Crystal, Crispin, Briar, all these new cards thrown up in this list. That's kind of cool. And Dragapult is doing well. Dragapult is doing well as Raging Bolt is doing well. There's Iron Thorns if you just want to be the person annoying people at tournaments, you can play this, and then another Raging Bolt doing well. This is a classic build without the Terra Stadium, the area 0 under depth. Alright, then moving all the way to Aichi again. Another tournament happened there with Roaring Moon, Turbo Roaring Moon winning, playing one copy of the Mist Energy. I don't know why it's in here. Preventing yourself from, maybe you can help this if you equip this to one of your Pokemon if you're up against something like a Dragapult, I suppose. That could be the thing, but I'm not a big fan of it. Pidgeot Zard. Yeah, Pidgeot Zard's doing really well. Pidgeot Zard, Dragapult Zard. Pidgeot Zard, Dragapult, Raging Bolt. These are all decks that are doing really, really well. Miraidon with Terra Mewtwo seems to be popping up more and more often, and for good reason. You can then do a roll of crazy stuff, and more emphasis on a Raikou V, 2 copies of the Raikou V in this exact 60. Then another Gardevoir. Yeah, Gardevoir seems to be doing really well. Moonlit Hills is something you don't see very often in Gardevoir, but allows you to get that additional damage counter on, so you can slap more. Okay, or heal so you can get more stuff equipped, or have an extra answer for Dragapult, I suppose. But Gardevoir also surprisingly still alive in this format. Okay, another page. Lots of tournament results that we can take a look at. Okay, let's see. Now Regidrago with no new cards. So Regidrago doesn't seem to be changing all too much. Lugia, Arizu, that's a very weird card to be playing in here, but also doesn't change all too much. So it pretty much seems that Stellar Crown will have absolutely zero impact on the format, unless a couple of decks like change with 0 area under depths, like specific Raging Bolt decks and maybe Miraidon decks can innovate a little bit, but that's where it's gonna end, to be honest. Next up, tournament won by Zard, Dragapult, Raging Bolt, more of the same stuff, to be honest. Nothing new. Raging Bolt here, no Noctowls. They are playing Briar. Briar can actually be very scary. But if you're playing Briar, I probably will be playing Iron Bundle as well in that list. Temple of Sinnoh in the Dragapult list to help the Lugia matchup. There is a very unique Terapagos Frostlass deck. And this Terapagos Frostlass deck is going to be helping you to go... It's actually some more of a control deck using Noivern. And I also don't see any ancient boxes in those top 4s of all these tournaments over in Japan. So you see that our Western format is... drastically different. You see this new Ace Pack card. Search your deck for any number of basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. That's such a powerful item card that you can use with Arven. They can go wide on your field, slap down Snorunt, Manaphy, Snorlax, Noibat, Terapagos. You can go wide on your board. So a very funky list that I want to be showcasing. Alright, moving forward, we're gonna go all the way to Tokyo again. Won by Raging Bolt, classic build, nothing has changed. Briar was in the list. Roaring Moon with Darkrai. I'm a big fan of the Darkrai in this kind of 60. There is Lost Box with Neutralization Stadium and Lanos 8. What? This is a turbo base build with Squawkabilly, Lost Vacuum, a lot of switch outs, so you can go to 12 in the Lost Zone ASAP. Interesting. With Lanos 8 you can get back your Stabilize and you sprinkle all the way down. So cool. Kanagawa. Next, Raging Bolt. Yeah, Raging Bolt is winning all the tournaments. What is going on here? 1-0 area under depth. Could go wide on your board, but you don't have any... yeah, you always have Terra Pokemon because of the fact of Ogerpon, so that makes sense. Charizard doing well. Dragapult with Lost Box. I don't understand how this deck is doing so well. It's so clunky in my opinion. There is a Blizzy deck doing well. It's been a blast from the past. Also playing a 1-1 line of the 5G Giraffe, being able to be prevented from damage from your opponent's basic EXs against specific matchups out there. You auto win, which is very cool to see. Blizzy doing well. It brings a smile to my heart for sure. Saitama tournament, Raging Bolt winning. Raging Bolt is the big winner. That's so far is clear. Raging Bolt is the big winner. Palkia. No Zero under depth, just playing Dusknoirs. Maybe I should check this deck list out already, because I can already play it, to be honest. Maybe I should check it out tomorrow. Palkia with Dusknoir. Very interesting that this is doing so well. Yeah, it's very interesting that this is doing so well. We had also Great Tusk Mill with the Dunsparce line to just keep on drawing cards. Okay, Neutralization Stadium makes sense in this 60. The Gravity Stone is a new thing that Great Tusk can use. And then a Charizard again. Charizard and Dragapult and Raging Bolt seems to be S tier in my opinion. If I take a look at all these results, we're going to Hyogo, if I pronounce it correctly. Gardevoir winning it all. And the reason why Gardevoir is doing well is that it has a very, very great time up against all these Raging Bolt decks. All these Raging Bolt decks lose to Gardevoir. That's what it is. This Raging Bolt list has a picnic basket to heal against Dragapult and also has unfair stamp at a Crispin. So they spiced it up quite a bit. And then Dragapult with Xatu. I personally would cut Xatu altogether, play Pidgeot instead. Fukuoka, whatever. Gardevoir winning. Same 60s we've seen before. 2 copies of TM Devo. That is a lot. Satsugiri also thrown in the list. And no Radiant Greninja. Raging Bolt. Regidrago VSTAR. Regidrago VSTAR has dropped down from S tier to A tier, it seems. Seeing less and less play, it seems. But it does sometimes win tournaments as well. Miyazaki. Let's go with Triple Guardy in the top 4. So Guardy establishing itself as a tier A archetype once again. So that should be good news for people that love Gardevoir. So there's also a Dialga doing well. A very streamlined version. But yeah, sometimes Dialga does well, even though it's not always at the right time to be playing Dialga. Alright. Okinawa. Oh, tournament in Okinawa. Okinawa was super fun when I went there. Check out the old school vlogs from Japan. You'll have a blast. Okay. This is an exact 60 I will be playing. Dragapult Pidgeot, Sparkling Crystal, Gravity Stone to Trap, and Crispin. You don't need anything else. This is playing Crispin, Sparkling Crystal, no Gravity Stone, but it does play some Disruption in the form of Roxanne. And then Charizard also doing well again. Reversible Energy, 2 of them, and Luxray, something that people have been testing out over in the West as well. Okay, back to Nara again, where people were actually playing Raging Bolt. Hello, Raging Bolt is doing really well. Charizard with a Pidgeot line and actually playing Great Tree. Okay, this is nice. Great Tree allowing you to evolve instantly into a stage 1 and then instantly evolve into a stage 2 from the deck, but it needs to be in play for a turn. Can help to get the combos going with Dusknoir, definitely, with Pidgeot, definitely. So I'm a big fan of the Great Tree over in the Charizard deck. Greninja, people are claiming this is going to be very good, but this is a very funky Chimpao binder drop that I personally am not a fan of, with Dusknoir in there, with Greninja in there. Nah, this is just asking for Clunk. And then an Iron Torrents. They're doing the classic stuff. Okay, that was actually during the 9. Okay, perfect. Next up, Osaka, the place to party over in Japan. What's happening over in Osaka? It's gonna be Raging Bolt. All right, Raging Bolt doing well. What a surprise! Look at that. There is Charizard, Pidgeot, and Snorlax block. Okay, moving forward, there is Kyoto, also a beautiful city over in Japan, won by Regidrago VSTAR. Regidrago VSTAR with not a lot of new changes. This is almost the exact 60 that people have been playing with a lot. There is Miraidon with with the Terra Mewtwo again. Terra Mewtwo and Miraidon, and the Cassiopeia is going to be the one, the combo with this kind of deck. Very curious to see why they are not playing Scovit. Scovit and this card go hand in hand, but yeah, it is working out for the deck. And then Arceus Dusknoir, I love an archetype like this, and also is playing Greninja EX. How funky is that? Yeah, people are doing a lot of funky stuff for sure. But no Greninja EX yet with Sparkling Crystal, which I think could be super nice. Then Niigata. What do we have here? Snorlax block winning. Okay, Mimikyu, Cornerstone, the classic stuff. 06 Machinist, that's also a card being used there. A very unique Bouffalant. Bouffalant. Okay. Okay, that's actually cool, because if you have this Bouffalant is actually super tanky, having a whopping 190 HP, Hero Escape 290, putting all the energies of the opponent in the lost zone. So Control has a new friend for some additional bulk. That's actually kind of cool. What do we see here? Dragapult, Pidgeot. Very fantastic list, if I say so myself. And then a classic Guardy. Classic Guardy doing well, surprises me. Because at the previous format, definitely at Worlds, it was not that good anymore. But with Raging Bolt, seeing all the hype, I guess it makes sense. Aichi. What do we see here? Charizard, Pidgeot. Still doing well, no new cards. There's a Torton in there. Miraidon actually is playing the new Academy at Night Stadium to make sure your generators are hitting more effectively. So that's also still a great deck. Not a lot of other crazy stuff. There is that Sylveon deck over here, but Sylveon doesn't come out quite yet. But I just want to showcase you guys that this one allows you to have choose up to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon and shuffle those Pokemon and all cards attached into their deck. If any of your Pokemon use this attack can be used, okay, during the last turn. So that's actually super cool to just swoop away the opponent's field Well, this is also having a form of control-ish archetype to it, so that's actually kind of cool. But yeah, it's not going to be coming in the Stellar Crown set, so don't worry about it in the slightest. Another tournament over in Aichi. Playing Gouging Fire. Gouging Fire second place with Monkey Dory, Secret Box, Pheasantipity, and a Roaring Moon in there. So a little bit of a mixture of do I saddle onto Roaring Moon or Gouging Fire depending on the matchup. Very cool indeed. There's already cards that are available. Charizard EX with Briar and Pidgeot. So is establishing itself as one of the most powerful archetypes. And then there's a Cerulege EX with 20 energies and this A-Spec card. Perfect mixer. Search your deck for 5 cards and discard them. It's gonna help out with the damage output instantly. You're gonna be slapping 130 already for 1 energy. With Carmine, with Squawkabilly, with this tool. Your main objective is clear. One shots time and time again with Cerulege EX. But as mentioned, this only comes out in Surging Spark. So hold your horses, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna happen eventually. You're gonna be able to play that deck. Kanagawa with Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt, what the hell is happening here? Raging Bolt winning everything. Roaring Moon, Turbo Roaring Moon doing well also. And Dragapult EX, okay, more stuff. Also, if you wonder where I'm checking out these results, it's over at play.limitlesttcg.com. Head over to Tokyo, where we see Cerulege actually making a quick, big squeeze here. Roaring Moon doing well with Unfair Stamp. You don't see that very often. Palkia VSTAR with the Dusknoir thrown in there with a lot of Pokestop as well. That's kind of funky. 4 nice stretchers. You see that combo a lot with Dusknoir. Cerulege with this Drillbur. When you play this Pokemon from your hand, search your deck for 3 basic fighting energies and discard them. Okay, that's gonna help out with the damage number because this actually works for basic energy cards for the Abyssal Blaze. So very cool, unique way. So get yourself some Drillburs while they're fresh because they're gonna be getting better and better. Cerulege here with Pokemon League headquarters for some 1-price archetype decks. Then we are gonna go all the way to... Was this in Tokyo, by the way? Yeah, this was in Tokyo. Osaka again. So that actually happened during Sunday. Let's see here. Dragapult with a new card called Search Your Deck for a Terra Pokemon, put it in hand. Also only comes out in Surging Spark, so not going to be coming out quite yet. But other than that, the list will be able to get created through the means of, the Stellar Crown set mostly, which is nice. Crispin is the only new card here, and Sparkling Crystal. So Dragapult is becoming more and more the better way to be playing Dragapult than in the past, where we had Regidrago doing its job. Ibaraki, Raging Bolt winning again. I'm actually pretty sick and tired of all these Raging Bolts. Do we need to counter Raging Bolt? Do we have to play Gardevoir? Unique Palkia VSTAR list with the 0 area under depth, with of course the Teal Mask Ogerpons as the Terra Pokemon of choice, filling up your bench, getting Grass Energies in play, and Iron Leaves can finish the job to just slap it down, absorb the energies, and attack on the very first turn, going second. Very cool indeed. I love lists like this. I'm definitely going to be checking that out when I have the opportunity to do so. Okay. Then Hokkaido over in the north in Japan, where Charizard was able to win it all. Charizard with Torton, Briar, the good stuff. There is City League second place here with Lost Box playing a Cornerstone, playing Neutralization Stadium, playing an Ogie Dogie. A little bit of Lost Box because I think Kyurem has calmed down, like Regidrago VSTAR has calmed down quite a bit. Ancient Box finally doing well, and they are playing this one, the Screamtail, which you don't see often, but it does have a retreat cost of 1, and sometimes can actually use heal 100 damage from one of your benched ancient Pokemon. Sometimes it could come in play, but it's on top of the Walking Wakes here to just get more Pokemon in the discard pile with Ancient Box. Gardevoir also doing well, and Great Tusk with the Neutralization Stadium. I think I don't have Neutralization Stadium quite yet in my binder, so I need to fetch those. It seems that it's going to be great. Next up is going to be Shizuoka, if I pronounce it correctly, and that is actually won by Ancient Box. Ancient Box having some legs to stand on over in the format. Gardevoir second place, Roaring Moon EX with the one of Mist Energy, and Raging Bolt of course. Then Saitama again. There's 4 more tournaments we're taking a look at. Lugia Fiesta. Okay. Tons of Lugias with a lot of basic energies. Where are the Earthen Vessels when you play that many basic energies? That is the question I'm actually wondering when I see a list like this. Because with Earthen Vessels, it's an additional way you can get an energy, an Archeops in the discard pile. There is another Lugia list here playing 2-2 line of Cinccino, playing the Pheasantipity on top of it, and 4 copies of Bulbasaurus. I'm a big fan of 4 copies of Bulbasaurus and Lugia. Ceruledge here with the Drillbur. So most of these lists are actually testing out the Drillbur now in the Ceruledge. But as mentioned, Ceruledge EX will only become available with Surging Sparks over in November. Dragapult winning. No surprise there. Sparkling Crystal, Pokemon League headquarters. Gonna help out a ton against Ancient Box, that's for sure. Crispin in the list as well. And then there's a Lost Box list. Very straightforward, playing Spiritomb as well. Not shutting down Rotom V, shutting down Lumineon, shutting down... there's more Pokemon in the format, by the way, that Spiritomb can shut down, which is actually super cool. There is a Palkia Goldango list. So Goldango, random top 4, but not doing a lot of stuff. There's a 5th place Palkia here. Again, people are grabbing towards the fact that you could be playing grass type energies. And with these grass type energies, you can then sometimes activate an Iron Leaves, which is super cool because Trumpet, grass energies, either it's Trumpet grass energies or it's Teal Mask Ogre Pulse for more draw power. But Palkia is definitely going to be having at least somewhat of an impact in the format. Okay, now to Osaka. Dragapult winning, Charizard doing well. All of these lists we've seen before. No new unique lists. Then over in Tokyo, the last one we're checking out is Dragapult winning, Charizard winning, and Raging Bolt doing well. And then a Lugia to top it all off. So what can I conclude? Ladies and gentlemen, it seems that over in Japan, we're not going to be talking about Ceruledge EX. We're going to be talking in general is that... yeah, Regidrago seems to be dropping down in popularity. Raging Bolt seems to be rising in popularity, as well as Dragapult EX. So Dragapult EX and Raging Bolt both doing fine. And Palkia VSTAR also having a little bit of an uptick. Lugia, Charizard still remain top dogs as always. And yeah, that's about it. Miraidon getting some new tricks left and right, but... format is not going to change all too much. Terapagos EX comes out, but there's not going to be changing the format all too much. So that's something we want to be noting down here from what is being played in Japan. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. It helps out in ridiculous ways you have no idea. And subscribe for more daily Pokemon TCG videos coming your way. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Pokemon TCG epicness. Peace.